Rav Shomer Chtav Eshuv and Mispikin Lasa Teshuvah. He says, we were talking last time how a person has to do teshuvah and stay away from the klipa, stay away from the evil forces. He says, and a person cannot say, I'll sin now and I'll do teshuvah later, because the sages teach us you won't be able to do teshuvah later. He says the person cannot sin on purpose and say afterwards, oh, I'll just do teshuvah later, because Hashem will not allow you to do teshuvah later. The person has to know, to do teshuvah, you need help from above. You need help from God. How many times we say we're going to make a diet? How many times we said we're going to go and change our ways? And the next day we wake up and we have no desire, we are not motivated anymore. Same thing that can happen. A person says, oh, I'll do sins today. When I'm older, I'll do teshuvah. Hashem doesn't allow you to do teshuvah. Hashem will make it that you will change your mind. Hashem will make it that you won't be able to do it. You won't have the assistance to beat the Yetzirah. But if you grab the moment and do teshuvah now, you don't say I'll do teshuvah later, so you should know nothing stands in the way of teshuvah. Right? So therefore what? He says that every person has the ability in his mind to go and not to worship idols, do teshuvah later. Has v'shalom. Nevertheless, at the same time, a person has the ability to give up his life to sanctify Hashem's name and not to bow down to the idol for that, even for one moment, and do teshuvah afterwards. Why? Because you see how we have such a balance. On one hand, we're willing to give up our life for Hashem. On the other hand, some people are willing to push off teshuvah, and a person has to make sure that he doesn't. He says because the power of the chokhmah, of the holiness that they have inside of their soul, it's not influenced with the passage of time at all. Rather, it's above time. You have to know that the wisdom we have and the knowledge we have of Hashem doesn't get affected by time. It's something that's limitless, that's timeless, and a person has to be able to tap into it. And so, therefore, once you wake it up by doing good, which means person has to use his desire and his love for Hashem for it to be able to do mitzvot, not to hold himself from doing averot. He has to use it to push himself to do mitzvot. To get up early in the morning, to push yourself to do the right thing. There's a lot of strenuous things. There's a lot of mitzvot that you have to go and not be lazy to do. And that you have to remind yourself of all the holiness and the emunah that you have in Hashem to motivate yourself to go and do this. Go la'amol b'torah b'iyun, or when you study Torah, to learn it in depth is hard, right? A lot of times, for verbalizing the words, when you learn, you have to say the words, right? It's not so easy. A person can say, oh, Rabbi, you sit and you learn Torah all day. Good life, easy life you have. As you know, the famous story where there was the construction workers. There was construction workers. They saw the rabbi on the balcony learning, and he was sipping chai. They say, "Oh, Rabbi, good life you have. You sit, chai piyu, reading all day knigi." So then he said to them, "Oh yeah, you guys think it's an easy life I have? Come. How much you get paid a day working construction?" They said, "A couple $100." He said, "Come, I'll pay you. Come 9 a.m. tomorrow, work for me." So they all came in the morning, and he said, "Okay, Rabbi, tell us the hard job we're going to have today." He says, "Come, you know how to read?" He says, "We don't know how to read Torah, we know how to read Tehillim." He says, "Come." He gave him Tehillim. He says, 9 to 5 now. 9 to 5. Davai, chitai. Read. So they're reading. Then his eyes get tired. So he drinks some tea. His throat gets tight, dry. He drinks tea. He's reading. He's going crazy already. The room is spinning. He look up, and what time it says? 10 o'clock. Oh, what is this? I can't anymore. I can't even look at the book anymore. It's only 1 hour you did. Whoa, you need to 9 to 5. You said it's an easy life. No, Rabbi, okay. We go back to construction. I'm sorry. We close our mouth. We're not going to talk about you anymore. So you see, it's not easy. to push yourself, not to be lazy. So therefore, a person has to realize that you have to remind yourself of the emunah you have in Hashem to push yourself to be loyal. What is loyal? Ox. He knows who's his owner. He's not going to work for somebody else. Donkey, he knows. The owner says to work, I have to work. I know he's going to pay me. He's going to give me food afterwards. I know it's not going to be working forever. Soon it's going to be sundown. Day's going to be over. We're going to go home, relax. The same thing with us and Hashem. We have to do our job. We have to go push ourselves. And we have to be loyal. Not do for what the money says or do what other people say. We have to first do what Hashem says. And that way, we have to not be worse than the donkey, not worse than the ox. Also to pray. A lot of times a person gets distracted while he prays. His friend talks to him while he prays. His phone is ringing while he prays. All these things can distract you, and you have to push yourself to go and push all these things away. Yetzirah, very smart. Today he bothers you with the phone. All of a sudden you say, I don't bring no phone to shul. That's it. I don't want my phone bothering me. And then all of a sudden when you sit in the shul with no phone, then this guy sit next to you. He says, starts talking to you. I don't want to talk during the tefillah. So you go and you sit somewhere else. All of a sudden when you sit somewhere else, Yetzirah comes, it gives you thoughts. In the middle of your praying, you're thinking. Always Yetzirah is going to try to find a different way for it to distract you. And the person has to constantly be like a guard, a security guard, always checking, making sure nothing's happening. You have to be a guard for your soul, your neshama. Nothing will happen to distract you and to take you away from the mitzvot. Because the Yetzirah, that's what he wants you to do. He wants you not to get mitzvot. He wants you to be distracted, to be busy with other things, and to not to get olam haba chas v'shalom. So the person has to be careful not to fall into the Yetzirah, who wants you to do the opposite, to do evil, to just give into your desires. Be lazy. It's okay. You could do later. You could do mitzvot different time. You do teshuvah later. It's okay. He says when you take to heart what you're doing, you could it'll be easier than the torture of a martyr's death, chas v'shalom. And even yet you will accept whatever you do, whatever Hashem sends you, lovingly, willingly. So he says when you have this emunah, you're not going to just be able to do the mitzvot. Even you're going to accept what happens to you also with love. A lot of times people go through difficulty, right? Rabbi Kiva, he had a donkey, he had a chicken, and he had a candle. And nobody hosted him in the city. And he went and he slept by himself in a tent outside. And then all of a sudden, a lion came, ate his donkey, and then a cat came and ate his chicken, and the wind blew out his candle. He had no light, no chicken, no donkey. He says, I lost everything. He got up in the morning, he saw the ganavim, robbers. They came and they robbed the whole town. And they would have heard his donkey, or they would have heard his chicken, or they would have sought his candle, they would have killed him also. And it was a zuchut for him. Hashem took all these things away. And he realized in the end, Kol Tovah, everything was for the good. I didn't see in the moment now, I didn't realize why it was good, but only afterwards I saw it was good. And Rabbi Kiva says, a person has to bless the bad like he blessed the good. Because everything Hashem does for the best. We don't know. We are in the middle of the movie. How can we cry? How can we yell? How can we scream? You wait till the end. In the end, usually it's like a twist. Usually in the end, everything flips. So therefore, a person has to realize that Hashem works the same way. And that's what the Yetzirah wants to give you bad thoughts. You see, look what he did to you. You see, why I did mitzvah. Hashem made me lose money. Hashem made it that I wasn't successful. This is what the Yetzirah feeds you. He wants to give you bad thoughts. A person has to be careful and overcome this and remind himself that Hashem does everything for the best. When you carry out Hashem's will and you push yourself, then Hashem will give you His face. What do we say? Hisa Hashem panav elecha v'choneka. Hashem should give you His face. What does it mean Hashem should give you a face? Imagine I talk to you like this. Yeah, Mr. Ambayev, how are you? Whoa, what is this? Look at me, after Simon. Why? Because then you can understand. We always praying to Hashem, give us your face. We should understand. Don't talk to us like this. What does Hashem want? Why it's like this? Why it's like that? We want Hashem to give us the face that we should always feel connected. We shouldn't feel far from Hashem. So therefore, we have to always remind ourselves that when you are giving your face to Hashem, Hashem will give face to you. But if you turn away from Hashem, you're busy with other things, you think about Hashem last, and you give your back to Hashem. We're praying now, and you talk to your friend, you give your back to Hashem and the Chazan and Torah and everything. So Hashem also, He's going to be like that with you. You're going to say, Hashem, where are you? I need you. I'm busy, I'm sorry. I don't have time to talk to you. I don't have time to give you what you need. As if, Chaz Hashem, you forgot about me? Okay, I forget about you also. You know? So the way we are with Hashem is the way He is with us. So therefore, a person has to always put his face towards Hashem, and Hashem will also give him panim, He'll give him His face as well. Azai en davar nifrad klal v'klal yod yesh davar b'fnei atzmo. And Chaz Shalom, the worst thing is to feel as if people think they don't need Hashem. Chaz Shalom. They think, oh, I have money, I have my family, I have my house, I have my car. I'm not worried. Everything's gonna be okay. I don't pray. My kids don't pray. They don't learn Torah. We don't do mitzvot. It's okay. Why? I'm scared. I'm running. I'm sick. Something has. Everything is good. All of a sudden, somebody died. Somebody got sick. Somebody going through Chas Shalom problem with government. All of a sudden, somebody's a parnasah problem. Rabbi, give me Gulal parnasah. What do we do? Rabbi, which Tehillim we say? Rabbi, which mitzvah we accept upon ourselves? But people shouldn't wait till the end, until problems falling from the sky, but you don't know how to look left and right. The person has to, whatever you're supposed to do in the end, you're supposed to do in the beginning. And Hashem says, give me your attention, because if you don't give me your attention, then I have to start getting your attention. Go like this, and if you don't understand this, you need to give harder, and if you don't understand that, then you need to do even harder. Chaz Shalom. So a person has to make sure, if you give Hashem your attention by yourself, Hashem won't have to send you bad things to get your attention. Baruch Na'olam. Amen.